and maintain peace and decorum at all times, especially at the Bomas of Kenya, as the whole country and the world is watching.
And that's an interesting perspective that Kakai Kissinger is bringing up, and I'd like to hear his thoughts on this. I know now he's watching, plus Omola as well. Are there any circumstances under which IEBC can say that they need maybe go to court for a slight extension, a day or two? Because we've all seen there was fracas there. Can they say that our process was interrupted, we couldn't do this on time, so we need an extra day or so?
Well, the constitutional timelines are usually not. They are hardly extended.
Every single time we've done this seems to be a bit of more extra drama. Now someone else is also being evicted here.
I'm not sure if it's an agent or a tally.
And that person has a tag, so
yeah,
they have accreditation.
There's something they are holding
seems
on
to be holding on to something, but it's the ladies are dragging him out there. And there's a lot going on there.
You know, you can't
quite
see
who that is from where we are. We can't really see.
And Saitabao Konchari there, Kanchori, the Azimio agent there is also there, and the police now have taken over this matter. Is that
is that Pasaris? I can't see too well.
I'm not sure, although I thought she's also waiting for her Nairobi.
A declaration. She's not been declared. Actually,
yes.
that does look like her.
Yes.
And the anti-riot police. And this is also something that Jakaya Kikwete mentioned. The conduct of the police officers.
Veronica Maina, I think, also the UDA agent, Kenya Kwanza, has also now made her way here to understand more about what's happening, and the police having to get in the middle of this whole group and tell them, stop, let's sort this in a civil manner. Yeah. Let's.
Are we able to listen in to some of this and hear what the conversation is about in between there?
We don't have sound, Trevor, but as soon as we have access to some sound from this, the floor of this auditorium, we will convey it for our viewers. It seems like some sort of a commotion, just sparks, and as soon as the authorities or the security forces there get in and defuse the situation, then hopefully this can be handled offline. And we're seeing this more and more as the evening continues.
Exactly, and the time keeps going.
I'm seeing some tweets here, Trevor and Wahiga, from people who are concerned about the IEBC's level of public engagement, saying that by now we should know from them what is happening, why this state of affairs at the National Tallying Center, especially after telling us that this area was out of bounds for most people. So how are these people even making their way into that central part of the auditorium? Yeah. A lot of reactions we're getting on our social media platforms about what exactly is playing itself out.
Yeah, and Wakili, you're finishing your thoughts on this. You're saying there's no way they can adjust.
Well, you see, there are a constitutional time limit. Like, for instance, if there is a presidential election and a petition is filed, the Constitution gives the Supreme Court, 14 days. They must deliver a verdict within 14 days. If they go beyond 14 days, that verdict is invalid. A declaration on who becomes the president done beyond 7 days will itself, that declaration will be challenged in court, and its validity will be subject to the pronouncement of courts. So IEBC, all these things were factored in by the framers of our constitution. They knew people would fight like this. Kenya is not the first experiment with democracy. It's been more than 250 years since the US had their first constitution, and there's been... So we knew that democracy is messy, people will do what they're doing here, but despite that, within 7 days, you must tell us who is the president. Unless circumstances beyond, and these are not circumstances that are not beyond anything. So IEBC must give us a verdict within that time. What I would want to say about what's happening on the floor of this place. See, if you look at football matches, when people begin to fight is usually when the umpire, the referee, fails to act. Somebody plays badly, maybe Manchester plays badly, and Arsenal fans don't take it kindly. And they appeal to the referee who does not do anything. On the other side, Arsenal fans, footballers play badly against Manchester, and it continues like that until all the players lose faith in the referee. Then they collapse into solving their problems their own way. So people will resort to violence, as you're seeing on the floor here, when both sides think that the referee, which is IEBC in this case, is not playing its role. Yeah. So if IEBC played its role in a transparent way, we would not be seeing this kind of things. I can see there the police are watching as people are being frog-marched by civilians, you know. So I don't know whether this has reduced to mob justice, but the primary responsibility for peace in this hall lies with the IEBC. They must do all the processes there in a manner that satisfies the major contenders there. The Azimio team and the Kenya Kwanza team, they must be satisfied that the issues they are raising are being addressed by the senior IEBC officials in that room. I have been here before, Trevor. Some times ago, I was at the Bomas of Kenya as a deputy presidential agent, and it reached a time when violence broke on the floor of that house. We were all chased away by the GSU. This tip, look, we want to keep the military and the police out of civilian affairs. If IEBC was doing its work, there is no need to bring in the police or bring in the military or bring in anybody, the General Service Unit, to harass people in there. But the primary responsibility, as I've said, lies with the referee. And the referee in this case is IEBC.
Trevor, you told us
hold them accountable.
141 Form 34Bs or returning officers had been processed.
No. 265 returning officers had arrived.
Have arrived, but how many of them?
141.
141. Yes. So on average, that's 70. So if processing has been happening for the last 2 days or so, that's roughly 70 per day.
Yes, but you see, the processing doesn't mean the tallying. It's like they clear them, and then the ones that they actually announce, they've announced so far around 90-something by now.
Okay.
Because when we came on
because now we can then calculate how long it will take to process the remaining and announce based on what we've seen over the last 2 days. And that is where there are concerns about whether this may be a bit, we are getting dangerously close to Tuesday.
Yeah. It's starting it really
and when you
close.
see scenes like this, it makes you wonder.
And giving such scenes a lead time for the time before they actually announce also interferes with the entire process.
You wanted to say something, Rosemary?
I'm just saying they verified about 100 in the last 2 days. So they have 200 to go.
Almost 290.
191.
But now, 191.
191. Kevin.
I just wanted to make 3 points. One is really to commend the security forces.
For restraint?
For restraint, because even in some of the areas that we observed, Kiambu, Kajiado, there were instances where, in fact, we thought that the police was going to come out very strongly to take action. But we saw them restraining and allowing mediation, dialogue, and conversations to take center stage. And this is probably part of the one of those particular incidences where we see the police restraining and allowing civilians to be able to engage on their issues. But then the second thing, Trevor, is the place of public engagement. It is quite unfortunate that up to now, the IEBC has not come up to pick the microphone and let Kenyans know what exactly is happening. Because we are speculating, Lillian. We're just imagining that somebody has walked in with papers, and I wonder how easy it will be even to use those papers coming from outside to be able to alter, especially given the degree of security, the degree of verification, the fact that these forms are already sent online. So even if you walk in with something, what value does it carry? IEBC needs to come out and strongly let Kenyans understand what is happening. And I'm hoping that in the next 1 or 2 minutes, they are going to speak to the nation, which brings me to the third thing, does IEBC have a risk management plan? In the event that things blow off like this, what do? Was it foreseen to the degree that how many people are you allowing into Bomas? In the event that it is 1,000 and you have 1,500, what do? We are seeing anti-riot officers coming in as a fallback plan, but if you go around Bomas, you don't see them. Why does it have to get to this level? Does the Commission have a risk management plan to be able to deal with some of these issues? But then my biggest agony is the fact that they haven't come out to explain to Kenyans. Because the moment we see leaders throwing hands and accusing people of walking in with papers, with pieces of papers, and I've also seen the Kenya Kwanza side is also starting to throw hands. I'm seeing Murkomen there, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and IEBC needs to inform the nation, communicate to the nation. And that's why Lillian was reading tweets of Kenyans saying, can IEBC, somebody within the commission, let us know what is happening? IEBC has not done very well for the election 2022 to communicate to the public, right from voter education